Today we're going to talk about deposits versus down payments when you're buying a house. So let's talk about the terms first of all. The down payment is the amount that your bank wants you to have in the bank that's going to go against the purchase of the property in order for them to be willing to lend you a mortgage. If you're a first-time home buyer, that can be 5% for the first $500,000 in Ontario. It may be more. If you're a second-time home buyer, it can be 10% or 20%. So you need to talk to your mortgage person and see how much they require for that. It's also going to be important that you talk to them about how much can you afford in total for a house. So they'll have a look at your income, they're going to have a look at your expenses, any debt that you have, car payments, all of that sort of thing in order to come up with that amount. But the down payment will be that amount that they want you to put up against the house in order to get it. The deposit, on the other hand, is the amount of money that the seller is asking you to put down in trust in order for them to feel secure that you're going to be able to afford the house and that you're going to close on it and not walk away at any point. So that's a much smaller amount typically, and it's going to go into a trust account either belonging to the selling brokerage or sometimes to a lawyer, depending whether or not the selling person is dealing with a brokerage and whether or not they have a trust account. Most brokerages do. So that amount can be much smaller. Here in Prince Edward County, sometimes it's as low as $5,000. 10 to 50 is a pretty common number. For us, it can be higher if you're looking at a multi-million-dollar property. The reason for the deposit is that the seller wants to know that come closing time, you're not just going to walk away. If you have no money invested in this property, what's to stop you from saying, oh, I've changed my mind, I don't want it anymore, I want to do something different with my money, whatever, and just to be like, sorry, not doing that. If you have $10,000, $50,000 in a bank somewhere, knowing that you could potentially lose that money, you're way more likely to stay with the game and finish the process and actually close on that property. That's why they want you to do that. So it's important to know that you could lose that money if you do at the end of the day decide to walk away. I have only had this experience one time, thankfully, where I had a client actually decide not to go forward with the deal. And it was, to be honest, quite frustrating because he didn't tell me he wasn't going forward. His lawyer, who I know, did not tell me that he wasn't going forward. I got a call from the listing agent saying, what the heck is happening? Why is your client not closing on this property? And it was the day before closing. So that was a disaster. It was a terrible situation. He did end up losing his deposit. So that's kind of the cautionary tale. It wasn't a ton of money at that point. They are a fair bit higher now than what they used to be, but it's thankfully the only time that I've had that experience, but it was really not great for everybody involved, that's for sure. So if you're buying a property, it's, once you sign those documents, it is a legal thing that you're doing, saying, yes, I am going to do this, I'm going to follow through, and I'm going to finish up with this. So don't think that you can just change your mind mid-course and walk away. It's part of the reason that we like people to put conditions on offers, right? So that you have time to go through everything that you need to go through, time to reflect, time to make sure that this is the right house for you. So getting a condition done, making sure that all your financing is good, that the bank gets a copy of that listing and that they get to do their homework to make sure, yeah, this amount of money works for that house, this makes sense. Sometimes people like to have an insurance clause to say that, they can get insurance on the property, especially if there's unusual things. Sometimes insurance companies don't like wells, they don't like septic systems, they don't like wood stoves, that sort of thing. So you want to make sure that can work out. Some people like their lawyer to review their offer, especially if there's unusual terms. I've had a couple situations where there were like solar panels on the property and there were some complications with that, so that we had the lawyers review and make sure that all those terms worked. So it's really up to you, with advice from your real estate agent and your lawyer, as to what terms you might want to include. In today's market, it's really hard to put in conditions because people are getting multiple offers, and obviously they're going to take the easiest, highest offer that they can get. So if they have an offer for $500,000 and another offer for $500,000, and this one has a bunch of conditions and this one doesn't have any, they're going to go with the one that doesn't have any. Sometimes they'll even take a lower price for the ease of not having to worry about conditions and just having it done and over with, and they know that it's going to move forward. If you have any other questions at any time about real estate terms, real estate conditions, anything to do with real estate, I would be more than happy to have a chat with you and to answer those for you. You can subscribe to my channel to make sure that you get all the latest updates, and you can reach out to me through my contacts at any point. Thanks so much.